Let's find out how good the image quality really is with ASR comparing it to FSR and native. I have the Xbox Ally X plugged in with a 100-watt charger into the ASUS dock just there, the Bulwark dock, and we are at 35 watts turbo right here, right? We are all up to date. We're on the insider program and all that good stuff. And that means we can go across on Game Bar all the way, which is really frustrating because you cannot organize these stupid tabs. And they've now changed it, luckily, so that when you dock the Ally X, it actually just shows the second screen, and it also pops up the thing saying, hey, you're using an external controller. Do you want to turn off the embedded one? Which is a good thing, which is really good. So we're here. And now you'll see the Auto SR Preview tab. Now it's currently unavailable because I'm not in an actual game and I'm actually at the wrong resolution because it's outputting at 4K, which is what this TV is outputting. We're gonna have to change that. It needs to be 900p or 700p or 720p, you know, to be able to then use Auto SR. Now, if we go to Windows Settings, then you'll see now we've got the Automatic Super Resolution Preview. Now, if you're like me and this wasn't showing, the only way I managed to fix it is by completely reformatting my Ally X and my Xbox Ally X and starting again. But now we can enable it here, or we can actually go by app. Right, so now I've loaded up Doom, because that's one of the ones on the list that they recommend, right? Just gonna test some stuff first before we do ASR, right? So I'm gonna put it all on the handheld settings, just because we're still running a handheld, right? And first of all, we're not gonna run the 900p mode, right? What we're actually gonna do is let's just crank it to 4K. And we've just turned FSR off, right? So I'm just gonna apply that. And now I fully expect the game to chug. Here we go. We're at like 10 FPS, 11 FPS, which I'd expect for 4K native raster gaming with no upscaling, right? If I stand still though, the image quality is really, really good. But of course we do have FSR here. And that is the point, right? Because ASR is an upscaler. It's actually not meant to be stacked with stuff like FSR. It's meant to be an alternative for games that don't actually have any upscaling at all. So you use this instead, right? But anyway, so I'm gonna go to Ultra Performance because I really think it needs it. I'm not gonna turn on frame gen. So now we're upscaling to 4K, Ultra Performance on FSR. So this is Ultra Performance. So obviously the internal resolution is going to be much, much lower. And I can see that the like assets and stuff aren't as sharp. But now I do want to just go back in here and let's turn off FSR. So let's go to TAA and we're going to change the resolution down to 900p and apply. So now we're at 900p, no upscaling, no FSR. This is just 900p, right? And we're now getting 39 FPS and it looks really good. If anything, I would actually say this looks better than FSR Ultra Performance being really aggressively upscaled to 4K. Like, even though this is 900p, it looks better. It's sharper. There's not going to be as many artifacts and we're getting better FPS, right? So we're at like 40 FPS. Bear in mind again that we were upscaling Ultra Performance to 4K, right, and getting 30 FPS, and the image quality is okay, it's all right, but 900p here is really good. Now, let's turn on ASR.
Right, it's time for me to pay the 128KB bills for today's totally impartial video sponsor, and that's GameSir. And today, we're lucky enough to introduce the brand new GameSir G7 Pro 8K Aim Labs Edition, and this really does have some tricks up its sleeve if you play competitive shooters or are just like me and want to get rid of another excuse as to why you suck so hard at Call of Duty. Trying to compete in modern PC shooters with standard laggy controller is, let's face it, useless. When you're playing at a higher level, every millisecond matters. This is where the G7 Pro 8K comes in. This controller hits a mind-bending 8,000 Hz polling rate on PC. That means less than 0.125 milliseconds of input latency. It's basically instantaneous. And to make sure you actually hit your shots, it's packed with bleeding edge MagRes TMR sticks. That means ultra smooth feel, pinpoint precision for those runs, and absolutely zero stick drift ever. You also get Hall effect triggers with physical micro switch stops for the hair trigger firing. I love how this completely bridges the gap between mouse and keyboard speed and controller comfort. Having true 8000 Hz polling on a controller with this sleek AimLabs aesthetic is absolute madness. It also comes with the classic GameSir G7 Pro charging dock. It has 4 programmable buttons, 6 axis gyro, asymmetrical rumble, and esports grade customization via the GameSir Connect software. So if you want the ultimate competitive edge to instantly upgrade your aim, then this is definitely it. Hit the link in the description to check out the GameSir G7 Pro 8K AimLabs edition, and by doing so you'll be directly supporting the channel. And of course, massive thanks to GameSir for sponsoring this video.
I've got the in-game status indicator, which I really like, because then that lets you know that it's on, right? We've got the little thing up in the top left there, if you can see it in the screen, that's saying ASR is actually on. And now you can see, if we look up into the corner up here, that we are dropping frame rate. Let's just turn it off. So now the little thing's gone, and you'll see that FPS in the top corner there climbing, and we're going up to what, 38 by the look of it. I'm not moving at all. With GPU utilization at 99%, which is really good. But now the image quality, I can actually see straight away, even though we've not even like properly looked at it yet, has gone down. So we've gained frame rate, but the image quality is lesser, and that is going to be the kind of the thing here. Let's go back to ASR just here and turn it back on, and then give it a second. We've got the little thing in the corner again saying, yep, it's on. And the frame rate has gone down from about 38 to, from 38, 39 down to 34. So we've lost about 5 FPS, which honestly isn't that bad. Like 4 or 5 FPS. We've gone up to 35 there. But just straight away on the gun looks so much sharper. Like, it really, really does. The gun looks so much nicer. I'm sat very close to the screen. I'm like right behind the camera, so I'm like really close to this. And it looks really good. I'm actually surprised. Like, I honestly was thinking, man, like we were hyping Auto Super Resolution hard at Gamescom last year because we were told all these fancy things that it was going to be. It never arrived. And then by the time it came out the other day, I was like, is it going to be overhyped? I knew there would be a frame rate drop, because we are now sharing the power load, not just between the CPU and the GPU, but also the NPU. So yes, the NPU is taking the grunt of this upscaling, but it still needs power. So that power is going to be pulled from the GPU and the CPU, right? But it's not actually making them work any harder. So whilst we will lose some frame rate, I would probably guess 10 to 15% currently. Man, it looks good. Like, I'm going to say it right now. This looks good. And I'm actually being a bit shocked now. So let's just turn that off. And straight away on the gun, the resolution just drops. The things that are going to be closer to the camera are going to benefit the most. It's really good, actually. I'm actually thinking this is the way to do docked if you're not using something else, right? Like an FSR or something like that. But to be fair, the image quality is very, very good. And let's just compare against FSR again. This is just 900p. Look at the floor and then look at the gun. Very obviously low resolution, right? Now, after 5 minutes of scrolling around, pull this back. The floor has tightened up. Like it looks a lot better. The gun has tightened up. I'm not sure if the like floor, like around here, is looking a little bit funky because of the ASR. Maybe that's some visual artifacting we're going there. Maybe it's just because it's so low resolution that it's trying to sharpen that like low res, and it gives it an almost like painted look. Might be hard to see on the camera here because I'm filming a screen, right? But it's actually pretty good, right? So now let's just turn that off again. And here is FSR trying to upscale to 4K. So this is FSR Ultra Performance at 4K. Now, obviously, I've had to set the game's resolution, right, to 4K, so that FSR is trying to upscale to that 4K, and I've tried to match the FPS we were getting with ASR, because I'm assuming ASR is trying to hit 4K, which is the actual resolution of this screen, right? But this is what FSR looks like on ultra performance, around the same FPS as ASR was getting, but the image quality is horrendous. The floor looks terrible. The gun looks all right, to be honest, but the rest of it just doesn't look too good. So let's see if we can go to 1440p instead. That's one thing that's kind of annoying with ASR, is that it doesn't tell you what it's actually trying to upscale to. Like, is it upscaling to 1080p? Is it upscaling to 1440p? Is it upscaling to the 4K resolution of this monitor? Like, I'm not too sure. So now this is a pretty much one for one, right? This is FSR trying to upscale to 1440p using the balanced preset, right? And we're at the same FPS, give or take, that ASR was getting. And I still think I've got to hand it to ASR. FSR doesn't quite get that weird painterly look around the floor area that I'm seeing. But, I mean, it's... yeah, I mean, I would think that ASR looks better. Can I say that? Like, so there we have it. I actually think it looks really good. I'm quite surprised. Yes, there's a performance hit on, you know, the FPS side, but if you really want to just drive performance, you can use things like FSR. You do need to remember this is still like just in early access. This is for insiders only. They're only putting this out in docked mode, so hopefully we can expect to see handheld mode as well in the future, maybe whilst it's, you know, plugged into power or something like that. So we do need to take all of this with a bit of a pinch of salt. I do notice the slightly like over sharpened look. So that's what's making it like really pop when you're using it. It's quite over sharpened. There is that kind of like weird painterly look to it. But when you're sat back from a large screen, honestly, it looks really good. Like, it does actually look better than FSR does. Yes, you're taking a performance hit, but if you want FPS, then go for FSR. We've always known, like, let's say FSR 1 is always better for FPS, but it looks worse than, say, like FSR 2, which is better for image quality but worse FPS, that kind of thing. So it's a bit of a trade-off. You're gonna have to pick and choose what you want to use, but for docked play, I actually think this looks really good. I wouldn't recommend stacking this. This is not what it's intended for. It's not meant for putting FSR on and then ASR and then lossless scaling and then AFMF. Like, don't do that. It's just going to be hideously disgusting. But I think it's going in the right direction. So hopefully they can sort the power draw and stuff out so that we don't see quite as big of an FPS drop here. But to be honest, to take a few hit of FPS for like a much better image quality whilst docked, I think I would take that personally. I often opt to play native over upscaled because it generally looks a lot sharper and it looks a lot nicer. Time's going to tell how this develops, but I was actually going into this with a little bit of negativity, and I'm kind of quite happy about it. I think it's going in the right direction. So again, for docked play, docked users, I think this is something you definitely want to check out. Anyway, I'm sure this won't be the last that we'll see of ASR. We'll be sure to do more deep dives on it as well in the future. I actually had to completely format my Xbox Ally X because it was not working correctly for me. So this is why we're like so late to this. So sorry about all that. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, let us know all your thoughts down in the comments whilst you're down there. Like this video, subscribe, become a member, and you can chat to us on our private Discord as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.